Imagine if Survivor wasn't a reality show, but a lurid, dusty issue of an EC comic found in a basement, directed with the manic energy of Evil Dead 2. This is the best way to describe the experience of watching Send Help. Sam Raimi is back, and frankly, the man hasn't lost a step. We are talking about a director who knows exactly how to mix slapstick humor with visceral, bone-crunching violence until you aren't sure if you should be laughing or wincing. This film is a vibe in the purest sense. It's kinetic, it's gross, and it feels like a morality play written by a lunatic. Visually, it swings for the fences. It doesn't look like the flat gray sludge we get in so many modern thrillers. It pops. It has the Raimi camera movement, the zooms, the Dutch angles, backed by Danny Elfman score that knows exactly when to be playful and when to be menacing. But beyond the style, the question is, does the survival thriller actually have teeth, or is it just another Trapped in Paradise retread? I'm going to break down why this might be the most fun I've had in a theater all year, and why the moral ambiguity of these characters makes this a must-watch, without spoiling the absolute carnage of the third act. At its core, Send Help is a chamber piece, if that chamber was a deserted island designed to kill you. We are introduced to two distinct corporate archetypes. First, there's Linda Little, played by Rachel McAdams. She works in planning and strategy, which is perfect because she is a high-strung, slightly cringy survival enthusiast who treats every day like she's prepping for the apocalypse. Then there's Bradley Preston, played by Dylan O'Brien. He is the newly appointed CEO, the definition of a spoiled nepo baby who thinks delegating applies to basic human survival function. When their plane goes down, leaving them as the sole survivors on a remote island, the corporate hierarchy evaporates instantly. Usually in movies like this, you get a clear protagonist, clear antagonist. You bond with the survivor and root against the savage. Send Help doesn't do that though. It throws these two into a pressure cooker where their mutual dislike festers into a psychological war. The conflict isn't just man versus nature, it is a battle of wits and shifting power dynamics between two people who, quite frankly, might both be terrible human beings. The stakes aren't just about finding water or building a signal fire, it's about who cracks first. Linda's survival skills give her an edge, but Bradley's entitlement is a weapon of its own. It creates a tension that feels incredibly tight, escalating naturally from office bickering to something much darker. Let's dig into the meat of this thing, starting with the director's chair. If you've been missing the Sam Raimi who made Evil Dead 2 and Drag Me to Hell, the guy who treats the camera like a possessed spirit, you're going to lose your mind over Send Help. This isn't the polished, studio-mandated Raimi of Doctor Strange 2. This is the Grindhouse Raimi with a budget. The direction is undeniably dynamic. There are shots in here that feel ripped straight out of a 1950s EC comic. You know, Tales from the Crypt and The Vault of Horror. It has that lurid, heightened reality. When violence happens, and it does happen, it's not just action movie violence, it's slapstick. It's perfectly timed, rhythmically edited chaos. Raimi has always been the master of mixing humor with horror, and he threads that needle here better than anyone else working today. You find yourself laughing at the absurdity of the situation, and then 2 seconds later you're grimacing because someone just took a rock to the chin. And that brings me back to the performances, which are frankly spectacular. Rachel McAdams is doing some of the best character work of her career here. We've seen her do comedy, we've seen her do drama, but here she starts as this incredibly cringy, rule-following accountant, the kind of person who reminds the teacher to collect homework. Watching her devolve is fascinating. She pivots from this embarrassment of being humiliated in an office setting to becoming a full-blown survivalist hottie. But, and this is the key, she carries the guilt of her actions as well. You see it in her eyes. She isn't a superhero, she's a desperate person making questionable choices. Then you have Dylan O'Brien. He plays Bradley, the entitled CEO, with this slimy charisma that is impossible to look away from. He is the ultimate nepo baby, completely useless in a practical sense, but strangely compelling. What I love about the writing here is something I call like character swings. In most survival movies, character development is a straight line. Coward becomes hero, jerk becomes humble. Send Help sort of rejects that. The development here isn't linear, it's oscillatory. They show growth, they have moments of connection, and then bam, they swing back to who they really are at their core. Bradley will do something genuinely selfless, and then 10 minutes later, he's complaining about the lack of sparkling water. It feels honest and it feels human. This leads to the pervasive sense of moral ambiguity. You might find yourself rooting for Linda in scene 1, then despising her in scene 2. Neither of them fits the clear-cut protagonist or antagonist mold. The movie forces you to sit in that discomfort, questioning who you actually want to survive. From a technical standpoint, the editing and cinematography are sharp as a tack. There is a montage sequence in the second act, specifically focused on Bradley getting frustrated with his inability to perform basic tasks. That is a masterclass in visual comedy. The cuts are aggressive, the sound design cranks up the ambient nature noise to an oppressive level, and it just sells the mental unraveling perfectly. And I have to mention the physicality. There is a fight scene in the second half of this film that is one of the most brutal things I've seen in the theater in a long time. It's not cool fight choreography, it's desperate, sloppy, heavy, and exhausting. You feel every hit. It's scary because it feels like two people who have completely lost their tether to civilization. The story is incredibly tight. Just when you think the survival mechanics are going to get repetitive, the script introduces a twist that ratchets up the tension. There is a natural escalation that keeps the pacing relentless. It never drags. It grabs you by the throat in the opening crash and refuses to let go until the credits roll. So is Send Help worth your time and money? Absolutely. This is the most fun I've had in a theater in a long time. It's a thrill ride that respects the audience's intelligence while delivering the visceral goods. It's funny, it's mean-spirited, in the best possible way. And it looks incredible. If you like Sam Raimi, if you like survival thrillers that aren't afraid to get weird, or if you just want to see two great actors go to war with each other, go see this. I'm giving Send Help a 4.5 out of 5. But did you see Send Help? Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing and maybe joining our 99-cent membership tier. Check out my ending explained for this movie above, where I dissect the finale and the thematic implications, and I'll see you next time.